Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome again to the launch event of the WorkInHealth Foundation. We're very glad to have you with us. For those of you who are joining, welcome. For those of you who were there this morning, welcome back. Please use the chat function to interact with one another, to introduce yourself, and to get to know the other audience members. And if you have questions during the sessions, use the questions tab. I will see all of the questions and will redirect them to the speakers after the session. So we have now a session on the biomanufacturing skills gap that is just starting now, and I will leave the floor to Karim Vissandjee as the moderator to introduce the panel and the session.
Thank you very much, Claire, and thank you for organizing such an important roundtable. In this roundtable, as you have mentioned, we will discuss about the biomanufacturing sector, and especially on the upskill and the upscaling of the workforce, and also how to sustain the industrial development and the redeployment of this biomanufacturing in Europe. So I'm Karim Vissandjee. I am the CEO of Campus Biotech Digital, and I will be with Cédric Volanti, Vice President General Manager of Pharma Service Group from Thermo Fisher Scientific. Nirlipta, she is online. She's the Vice President Global Head of Industry Life Science in Capgemini Engineering. And Didier Malherbe, EU Biotech School and Chairman of the Board of BCI PHARMA. So before I let my colleagues to speak, I think it's important that we just mention what bioproduction and biotechnology is. And I would like to say biotechnologies with S, because we are covering many innovative therapy drugs as a gene therapy or cell therapy, living biotherapy products. And the bioproduction is how to scale up all those therapy with I would say, the specificities of living microorganism and how to scale them up, how to reduce the cost, and how to enhance the availability of such important products in the marketplace. Also, you have to know that the biomanufacturing products will account for more than half of the solution, therapeutical solution, which will be in the market within the 5 to 10 years. So let me now ask my colleagues here who will join me to discuss about this shortage of the biomanufacturing skill set. So first question to you, Cédric. What does Thermo Fisher play in the biomanufacturing? And maybe you can introduce yourself first.
Yes. Thank you. So I'm Cédric Volanti, and I serve as a Vice President and General Manager for Thermo Fisher, specifically in the field of virus vector production. I'm based in Belgium. Sorry, there is a bit of echo. So Thermo Fisher is a world-leading company in service science. So we operate in many fields, from instrumentation, supply, reagent, but we are also active as a CDMO with a pretty strong footprint in Europe for drug substance and drug product manufacturing, with several sites in Germany, Austria, Italy, Belgium. We also have sites in the US and in Asia. So we are really a global partner operating from a small molecule API, recombinant protein, monoclonal antibody, virus vector for gene therapy, but also cell therapy.
Thank you, Cédric. And let's go to see Nirlipta. Good afternoon, Nirlipta. And if you could introduce yourself, and then after, what role does Capgemini engineering plays in biomanufacturing?
I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are. You can.
Perfect. Thank you, Karim. Dear all, an absolute pleasure to be joining this forum today and sharing my views on this pressing matter in front of us. My apologies, I could not be there in person today, but what has still enabled me to join you all in Paris, sitting out of here in London, is the area that I would be sharing my views today on, and is the role that Capgemini Engineering largely plays towards biomanufacturing as well, that is digital. A quick introduction about myself. I'm the Vice President and Global Head of Industry Life Sciences for Capgemini Engineering. I think the larger role and Capgemini Engineering plays for biomanufacturing 5.0 challenges and the future vision today is exactly around bringing the best of digitization, engineering, and connected solutions to our ecosystem today. We are playing a very active role as the integrator scale-ups in this ecosystem, bringing in our vast cross-industry expertise and area of work. Our aim is to bring the aspect of digitization into the core areas and needs of biomanufacturing today, and bringing the cross-industry fertilization around innovation and digitalization that we see around, and making the best efforts to connect those towards the challenges of biomanufacturing today as well.
Thank you, Nirlipta. Maybe a clarification, because usually we talk about 4.0 and you're talking about 5.0. So what is this, a new venue that you are talking about?
5.0 is really the next scale we are talking from our 4.0. I think when we devised biomanufacturing 4.0 was to bring industry 4.0 connectivity and solutions towards the larger challenges of the domain, the industry. But 5.0 is to bring the industrialized scale towards our 4.0 solutioning and leverage that we have that we are trying to achieve as an industry together.
Thank you, Nirlipta. And now I turn to Didier. Tell us about the biomanufacturing landscape in Belgium. And you introduce yourself too.
Yes, thank you, Karim. So my name is Didier Malherbe. I spent more than 15 years as CEO of UCB in Belgium. UCB is an important biomanufacturing, biopharma actor in the country. Belgium is not a big country as France or UK, but with 11 million people, we are quite a hub in terms of healthcare, biopharma. We have today probably per inhabitant the largest investment in R&D, biomanufacturing, biotech, biopharma in Europe. And we are quite well known today thanks to the COVID pandemic, because we have Pfizer manufacturing, producing millions and billions of vaccines for the world. So which transform Belgium as a export champions of biopharma next to companies like GSK Vaccines of Johnson & Johnson, UCB, and many other biotech in the country. So during the last 15 years, we really became an important actor of the biopharma, biotech sector of Europe. And probably because we succeeded in changing the tax environment of the country to attract manufacturing, but also to attract research development with a tax system which is quite attractive for the companies. We have also a quite huge panel of interesting high-level university. And we used to have also enough available skills, talents in the country. And we will come back on this new challenge where we are on the table today. with the multiplication of companies in the country, we are facing a big issue of talent scarcity. And that's something we will discuss in a few minutes with you and with the rest of the panel.
Thank you, Didier. And to complement what you have said, and I will turn to Cédric. And what are the skills that you think are missing today? What is the talent need for Thermo Fisher in the field of the biomanufacturing?
Well, in the field of biomanufacturing, we are missing a lot of talent. It's really a source of disruption for the business because we are missing all type of expertise. And I like to refer to biomanufacturing as an industry. And as such, we need all type of a profile, very educated people, such as pharmacists, QPs, PhD, scientists, quality officer, specialist in regulatory affairs. But we also need logistician, people that works as operator and technician in the manufacturing area, lab technician in QCs. And I would say, except maybe in the field of R&D, where it's still pretty easy to find young PhD, because there is a lot of initiative in promoting science, at least in Belgium. All the rest, the real industrial function coming from manufacturing up to logistics and the very specialized function in regulatory are missing. And this is a crucial event or a crucial hurdle that we need to overcome if we want to succeed in the development of biomanufacturing in Belgium and in Europe in general.
Thank you, Cédric. And I would say that when we at Sanofi, we have started to promote, I would say, the biomanufacturing within the company, we have seen that we were having a huge lack of resources, mainly because we see now, as you have really mentioned, the combination of skills, in fact. So we need to have, as you mentioned also, Nirlipta, the combination of digital along with the biomanufacturing. We need to have material sciences along with the biomanufacturing or biomanufacturing with the other, I would say, competencies such as the regulatory. And this is something where we need, I would believe, with also a very evolving technology. And this evolving technology is very important. That's why I want to come back to you, Nirlipta, because in fact, how you at Capgemini, you try to cope with this technology evolution with the digital as well as the biomanufacturing.
Absolutely, Karim, you rightly mentioned, and I agree with Cédric. Today we are the larger issue for biomanufacturing in front of us today is to get the right level and right mix of skills and expertise to help advance this sector today. The area of, I think, technology and digital has been playing a very vital role in biomanufacturing, and more so these days, of course, with the challenges around production scale, yield improvement, and thereon. I think technology and digital will continue to play a very, very vital role around our core challenges of biomanufacturing, and the aspects at Capgemini Engineering that we have rightly faced around the immediate challenges towards solving the digital and technological intervention around biomanufacturing has been around data. The big data has been a very, very core aspect of enabling the digitalization, acceleration in biomanufacturing, the building more predictive, proactive approach towards and predictability towards our skill improvement has been a particularly key challenge. Aspects around digital training, building more hybridization between the biological models and the AI models, which can predict the results and bring more insights to us better. The digital twin sort of solutions have been especially key for us to be looked at in this sector. The various skills around data scientists, AI, machine learning, AR, VR, skill sets. Pedagogical engineering has been incredibly vital and crucial for us to scale in the initial years, and I think would continue to be a huge area of growth and talent attraction for the next few years as well.
Face those challenges that you have just mentioned?
I think very important would be to come back to a point, Karim, you mentioned. I think this has been one of our key strategies towards attracting the right level of talents, as well as building that scale within the company as well, has been around training the multi-skilled expertise for biomanufacturing. Today, we classify them, or we call them as T skills or pi skilled approach. So every individual we bring in the expertise of biomanufacturing or improving digitization towards biomanufacturing. Today, we are aiming towards building and training more T skilled candidates and pi skilled candidates who are not just skilled on any one particular area, but can bring multifaceted skills with themselves, domain, with digital skill set, with regulatory and compliance know-how. So I think a very core aspect to us today has been training our expertise in-house towards more T-skilled and pi-skilled approach towards solving the multifaceted challenges on biomanufacturing today. The other core aspects for us has been also to build or to bring our talent magnet attractiveness of the brand and the company, of course, towards encouraging the younger generation towards the challenges and the value of being engaged on programs like these. And of course, a very vital program is and aspect is around partnerships. We are going very heavy on similar partnerships, scale-ups and startup partnerships towards building our positioning and value at the end of the day.
Thank you, Nirlipta. Didier, to you then, why was EU Biotech School has been created in Belgium?
Yes, but to face the challenge we are all facing around the world, and especially around Europe, so we took advantage of the relaunch and resilience plan of the European Commission, which was communicated in January this year. So it's a very huge amount of money coming from the European Commission, European Bank, to be sure that all the members of the European Union can rebound after this huge COVID-19 crisis. And we took advantage of this opportunity to present a business plan where we can create a EU biotech campus in Belgium to face one of the major challenges we are facing today, the scarcity of talent, the war for talent between companies. So we have a fantastic opportunity to continue to develop one of the key sectors of the Belgian economy. So it should be a key element to secure the development of what is today one of the major economic sectors of the country.
Thank you, Didier. And I think it was the same vein that we in France, we have been able to create this campus biotech digital, because in fact, as you have rightly mentioned, the technology evolving is so fast, and we see also this lack of skill set. And we thought that it was good to have, I would say, a large consortiums building and working together, as you mentioned, Nirlipta, with partners to see how we can create curriculums who can be extremely agile in order to help all those companies to face those challenges. So I think, and we agree with Didier, that the challenge that you are facing in Belgium or we are facing in France are similar, and we have large venues to explore in order to enhance this collaboration and this partnership together. Let me now go back to you, Nirlipta, and what would be your recommendations? What training initiatives need to be supported in order to face those challenges?
Thank you,
I
Karim.
can support that.
Absolutely, Karim. I think, as I articulated, three key pillars towards bridging this gap of skill sets that we are identifying around our biomanufacturing strategy are around training, partnerships, and collaboration. Cross-industry collaboration. I think specifically around training and partnerships would be, I think we as a group, as an ecosystem would need to work very, very closely together. Our training recommendations and our training support are widely spread across, of course, the ecosystem, but as well as, like I mentioned, in-house strategy of making sure the talent who are coming on board onto the biomanufacturing landscape and programs or challenges we are trying to solve today should feel excited about, should feel motivated around performing those challenges. So I think building the talent attractiveness and building the right training strategy towards building multifaceted, skilled individuals and experts around our biomanufacturing program is our key strategy. The aspect where we would definitely collaborate further as well, Karim, and the forum here would be around encouraging more and more digital training and digital avenues for our biomanufacturing interested talents of the future to join and contribute with multifaceted approach and solving the problem at the end of the day. So definitely, I think our my 2 cents, maybe closing my views around the topic today would definitely be to see how we continue to build the right attractiveness and the right strategy of getting the talents on board with the right spirit and bringing the right value towards the sector.
Thank you. Cédric, what are your recommendations do you have? What trainings you believe that need to be supported on the field of the biomanufacturing?
It's a question where I would like to tier the recommendation. First, we have an urgent needs of manpower for manufacturing, and any initiative that could lead to the specific training on cell culture or purification, any type of manufacturing operation that is involved in biomanufacturing would be welcome. That's really on the short term because we need manpower. This should be, however, associated with a strong regulatory aspect because we are operating under GMP. And as I say often to the newcomers at Thermo Fisher, your job is not just to manufacture, it's to manufacture under GMP. And it requires as well some documentation, some data integrity skills that you need to have, and that's fully embedded into your job description. So it's not just manufacturing, it's a bit more than that. A second type of training that we would need very quickly is any type of regulatory expertise, quality assurance training, because we are, especially in the field of virus vector and gene therapy, operating in a landscape which is not as well defined as for API, and we require often to have interaction with the regulatory agencies or with or sponsor to discuss strategy, regulatory strategy, and how really to bring a product to the market. And that's something that is important for this biomanufacturing industry. And the last set or the last tier of training that I would like to recommend is really to have a strong interaction with universities and high school to redefine specific masters that are bringing more applied skills and more applied program which are needed by the industry, where we really need to have a strong interaction with the university and high school to define what should be the training program for those who wants to be in this industry, that can be really helpful for the specific biomanufacturing training. And last but not least, I can only support an initiative such as the Biotech School, which is something that will help us in a very short term to bring the talent we need in the manufacturing plant and continue to grow this specific industry in Europe.
Thank you, Cédric. And I think you are right when you are mentioning that it is not, it has to be beyond manufacturing. We are talking about really how to behave within these GMP areas on the sterile zone. We are working on a closed area, so there is a specific, I would say, behavior that we need to develop here, and also around the quality, because in fact, most of the issue that we are facing are cross-contamination, and this is something where we need also to prepare our future apprentices to work on it. And I believe also, as you mentioned, Nirlipta, that the digitalization can help, because in fact what we are developing in the campus biotech digital, we believe that we have to work around simulation, around virtual reality, in order to simulate this kind of environment where the future learners will be in a position to behave within this kind of area. So I think there is a common, I would say, understanding between what you have said, Cédric, and what Nirlipta also has said to us before. Maybe now, Didier, what about the biotech school that you are developing, and what is the role of the partnership?
So, as you mentioned, it's key to develop the sector. It's key to answer the problem we are facing in terms of talent. A specificity of the biotech campus, as you have in France, we start from the needs of the industry, which is a totally different momentum than what we are doing from a university of a school point of view, where you start a training, a program to train the people, to create people who are able to go one day in another context, like an industry or something else. But today, they are not really taking care of what the industry needs. And this is a total different aspect we are trying to do. We start from the needs of the industry, and then we go to see what are the right trainings we can develop, offer, to create enough candidate to fill the gap, to fill the function, the job the industry is creating. That's, for me, the major difference. I used to be chair of the Pôle emploi of Belgium, which is called FOREM, and you see still an old way of thinking about training. We try to train the people, and then we will see if the people find a job. We start from the perspective of the company. This is a big difference. But we have also to do our job as biotechnology, biopharma, enough attractive for the young generation. I said we probably need, and France will certainly understand, we need some Thomas Pesquet of the biotechnology. We need some leaders to attract the attention of the young generation, of people from other industry, to really have the willingness to join our business, to join the biomanufacturing, to join the biotechnology, to join the research. So we certainly have a big effort of communication to do. I don't know if we will find Thomas Pesquet of the biotechnology, but we have also to think about ourselves. How can we improve our capacity to attract talents?
Absolutely right, Didier. And thank you very much for those tips, which are extremely important. And I believe what we have done in the Campus Biotech Digital was to start with the need of the industry. And when we think about the need of the industry, in fact, you see those technologies are evolving so fast, new modalities, new processes, and we thought that it was good to have them telling us what are the needs and what would be, I would say, the requirement for the next coming months, next coming years. And then we complement the curriculum which has been already done by the schools, because I believe that we need to work in a very in a partnership with them, and there is no competition here, but I believe that a complement the addition of what they have understood from the schools with the need of the company can be very much helpful. And digital can play also a good role here to attract, I believe, those young talents. And this is also another point that has been mentioned by Nirlipta. So I think we have covered all the questions that I had, in fact, prepare for this workshop, and maybe we can turn to Claire for questions coming from the field.
Yes. So we don't have questions from the audience, but I'll ask one. How do you strike the right balance between initial training and lifelong learning in both of your schools and your campuses?
I guess we should be able to answer both. We should be able to attract young generation to the sector and to find the way to train them through the schools, through the university, in collaboration with us and the digital trainings we are developing together. That's one thing. But we have also to be able to attract people working in other sectors. For example, contrary to France, Belgium decided to close all the nuclear plants. So all the nuclear sector will shut down soon. So we have there thousands of people who are perfectly aware of what safety is, what security is, what sort of GMP of the nuclear is. So these people are quite prepared to move to a sector like our sector with a very short term training program. So we have also to be able to be flexible, to move people from a sector to another. We have also a very important sector in the aeronautic. We know the crisis of the airline companies and all what the impact are for the sector. We can certainly also find there people with a huge experience of security, safety, and the way to be a manufacturer, which is using the best practices.
About that over the lunch, in fact, you have many sectors who are freeing up competencies, which could be extremely helpful for to fill the gap with the shortage that we have in the biomanufacturing. And we were thinking about aeronautic, we were talking about automotive, where they are playing in the same area where the quality is extremely important. And we believe that by adding additional training that we can prepare can also help them to move swiftly to the biomanufacturing area and to cover the gap that we are facing here. Claire? Claire.
Just maybe to comment on that as well. I I can only agree with what has been said. And as an example, we currently have on my site leadership team 2 people coming from the steel industry, because as I'd like to mention, we are before and above all an industry with some specificity, which are biomanufacturing and GMP, but the global conception and the global architecture of a company which manufactures still remain. And we have now several talent in the bracket old industry that are willing to join and bring their expertise to really grow up this industry.
And if I may add something, the biopharma, biotech industry used to be quite a small world where people coming from one company going to the other. We didn't have the opportunity of the chance to go to other sector. And you know, in my previous jobs, at a certain stage, we welcome people from the food industry, we welcome people from the distribution industry, from the textile industry, and they are coming with another mentality, an out-of-the-box mentality, which creates a lot of synergies, of opportunities, of way to be better in what we are doing. We say that it's a little bit incestueux in French, the biopharma sector. So for us, this crisis is an opportunity to think out of the box and to get talent from other industry, which can give us new ideas.
Yes, and I would, if I may also, just to complement what you have said, it's a unique opportunity to open it up and to open the door to digital, to open the door to other industry, will enable us also to attract good talent, to strengthen, I would say, the biomanufacturing skill set.
Thank you. We have another question from the audience. It's about multidisciplinary skills, and maybe Nirlipta could weigh on it. In the discussion, you have several times mentioned the weight of having multidisciplinary skills, but in reality, how is that implemented in the hiring processes of the companies or in your own experiences? Because that person mentioned, I look up vacancies and they often require very narrow requirements, a specific type of backgrounds and trainings and so on.
Absolutely. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Perfect. And I think, Claire, this question is definitely tied to your last question as well. And I was weighing in on the discussion we were having in the forum earlier as well. I think it is just in our discussion today, it is visible, it is vibrant to see how evolving this landscape is going to be for the next few years. So absolutely agree, it is going to be a lifelong learning session for the experts who are going to, who are in the industry, who are in the sector, and who are going to join us further as well. And on the specifically on the question, Claire, as well, on the interdisciplinary skills, I think it is an evolution, I would say, for a lot of players like us who are in the industry, who are scaling up to the needs of the industry as well, to broaden the scope of requirements of the talents who we are seeking. If we are tomorrow, if we are going to seek a pedagogical engineer, like I said, our training strategy and our hiring strategy is more around to identify T-skilled or Pi-skilled individuals who come with either two vertical horizontal skills together, or Pi-skilled two vertical and horizontal skills together to augment and advance the necessity on the ground. And I think, as we were discussing in the forum today as well, we all are cognizant of the value and the need that we are going to solve at the end of the day, work towards. And it is very important for players like us and others in the forum to open the spectrum to allow multi-skilled talents, the knowledge of domain, technology, understanding of the regulatory and compliance landscapes would be very vital to advance the skill set challenge we have today, but also very, very vital for the attractiveness of the role that we are seeking it out as, and the talents who are seeking to join the sector as well.
Just maybe to comment on the specific question, I think this is a very interesting question, and we probably have a lot of work to do in that field, because recruitment and HR are often seeing a position as a very defined and very restricted function, and we search for the perfect fit, where actually I think we should look for the potential rather than the appropriate perfect match at day zero. And in the frame of this new biotech school and the biotech campus, I think it's very important to develop a program where we have exposure to many different industrial environment and many different companies within the industry placement, training, internship, in order to bring the people with the most and the most varied experience for their future job.
Thank you. And that concludes, I think, the panel session. I would like to thank warmly the speakers, the three on stage with me today. So Didier, Karim, and Cédric, thank you. Thank you, Nirlipta, from your office for joining the discussion. Thank you to the audience. And we now break for 8 to 9 minutes, and we're back at 14:20 to look at the digital skills gap, actually, which has been somehow teased in this session. Thank you.